Welcome back, everyone, to episode 71 of the Minot Business Podcast, presented by Bennett Creative Media. I'm your host, Easton Bennett, and on the show today, we have Earnest Bell. Earnest, it's good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Super excited about our conversation, but before we get started, if you have not already, please rate and review the show. It only takes 5 seconds to leave us a rating and a review, and it really helps spread the word to new audiences and attract new guests for you guys each and every week. First episode of 2024. Excited to get back into the episodes. Earnest, for people that have never met you, they don't know what you do. What's your elevator pitch? What do you do?
I am a basketball trainer. I train kids in basketball skills, elite skills.
Okay.
So I bring the background from where I came from, which is Louisville, Kentucky, and I bring that up here. And I train the kids more like the inner city. So that's what I do.
So that's my question then. Elite skills.
Yes.
What is it? What do you mean by elite skills? Because obviously you have, you can do your regular basketball drills, but what is the differentiator for elite skills?
Well, elite skills is more kids who are pretty much past through legs, behind the backs. Then we advance them with a little bit more combinations and things like that.
Okay.
But for the kids who have lower skills, we start with the basics, get a ball handling down, things like that. And then as time goes on, they get advanced to more elite stuff.
Okay.
So some kids are further along than others. So they get taught a little bit faster than the others. And the others, we just bring along nice and slow and get to a level two.
Okay. So I want to dive into a lot of that. And we're going to get into Earnest Academy. But let's start with your background a little bit first.
Yes.
When did you get into basketball? What is that? Sorry, because I assume you were young. Has it kind of been a part of your life
Always.
Since you were born?
I was a two-sport guy, football, basketball, but basketball was just calling me, right? I got taller. I woke up one day, came outside. I was taller than everybody else on the street in my neighborhood. So basketball was just what I wanted to do. So started young, played through college, would play ball overseas for 6 years, had 2 NBA tryouts.
Okay. After
that, I was done. And I was in Canada at the time. I'm a Hall of Famer in Canada as well. So,
there we go. Congratulations.
And then I tried to be Canadian.
Okay.
But it took too long. My Canadian shit was taking too long. And me and my best friend at the time, we was like, we have to go somewhere where we spend all our overseas money.
Yeah.
So we went on the internet, and Minot was the closest.
Okay.
So we got here in 2008.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I started one travel team, boys team, we did really well, which led to another travel team, boys team, which did really well, which led to my daughter's team.
Yeah.
Who done really well.
Yeah.
So it's now leads, then I started training, got a storage unit, worked out there with no bathroom, just 2 rooms.
Yeah.
Then it led to another storage unit with 3 rooms in the bathroom. Ultimately led into the new academy getting built. So
yeah, and I want to talk about kind of the transition phase, but first off, this is maybe just a personal question, selfish. What was it like playing basketball overseas? Because I've never lived in I guess I lived in Canada for a little bit, but I've never been overseas.
It's a different world.
Is it?
You have to be mentally tough.
Yeah.
To deal with the surroundings, the different food, the different languages.
Okay.
Their culture. I had my best money maker was in Syria before it was Syria now.
Okay.
And because everything was cheap, and then I didn't have to have a car. And Europe is so expensive.
Yeah.
They give you a car, they give you, you don't pay for that, but you pay for the gas. But the meals was super. I mean, a burger and fries was like $15. But in Syria, everything was cheap. And we just stacked money. And it was I went there twice, because I loved it.
Yeah.
The culture shock was no girls, no nothing.
Yeah.
At a fast. You have to do everything they do, right? So, but it was good though. I loved it.
I was doing some research on you before we started the podcast, and when I saw Syria, so it wasn't like Syria is now.
No.
Okay. Because that's why I was like, that must have been insane if it was like that.
It was like a nice city. Everything was good. And the funny part is, on my last stint in Syria, they had told us to leave because they knew Americans had to leave because they knew
it was going south.
Bad. Yeah. So look up, and in the airport, you have 50 Americans. The airport's getting up out of there. So they knew what was coming. Now, it didn't happen until a few years later. Mm-hmm. But when it happened, you seen what happened. I guess it was bad. So
okay. So then, you played in a few different places over in Europe. Do you have a favorite? What were the
I said
differences?
Syria.
Was Syria your favorite?
I said I loved Denmark. Was beautiful.
Okay.
Denmark was good. Spain was the best, the prettiest women in the world.
Yep.
Spain was a super culture shock. It was hot, but they're more about not being embarrassed, right? Like,
okay.
But don't you embarrass them, right? Mm-hmm. So we go to a local pool, everybody's naked.
Mm-hmm.
And I was warned.
Really?
Ernest, don't stare at them. I'm like, yo, like they're naked. What am I supposed to do, right? It's embarrassing. Don't do that, right? Like, so we come from, you go to the pool, like.
You put your swim trunks on. Bikini
on, right? So I'm like, what in the world?
I suppose that's why they call it European pools over here.
Right. And we was just like, me and my guys was like, just don't look eye to eye. Look eye to eye, right? But it's their culture. They don't see it like we see it, right? Like no one was grabbing the girls. No one was being rude. Mm-hmm. It's a nice little time. I was like, okay, this is how it is over here. So it's super interesting seeing the difference in culture. So the basketball culture over there, is it like it is in America where, kids start young and they're training all through, or do we have an advantage over here? I think we did.
Okay.
But they turn pro faster than we do, right? They have these leagues where they can play pro as 16, 17, right? If you're really good, right? So we don't have that. Mm-hmm. But it's cutthroat. Mm-hmm. Like they pay you to play.
Yeah.
I had one scenario where I went over to Spain and I got fouled out, and the next day my agent is in the owner's office and I'm coming up there. I'm like, why are you here?
Yeah.
And they talk in Spanish or whatever. And my agent says, Ernest, look, they're not paying you to sit on the bench. I'm like, dude, it's one game.
Yeah, I found out. There's 6 minutes left. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. Like, he's like, what do they need you to do to be productive? I was like, okay, this is about business.
Yeah.
I was like, give me the ball.
Yeah.
Just give me the ball. And they said they want 18 and 12. So I knew then it had to be 25 and 15.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, this cutthroat one day. So that right there was a rude awakening for me to saying, y'all gonna cut me? Because there's so many spots over there. So many Americans they can pull from, right? So everybody's not going pro.
I suppose everyone's battling for a limited number of spots.
Oh my God, yeah. So everybody's not going pro. Some places only take 2 Americans, some take 1.
Is that a league rule or is that a team rule? Because I know when I was playing hockey in Canada, you only got like 3 imports.
Yeah, it's a league rule.
Okay.
So in Denmark, Syria, we only have 1 American.
Okay.
Which is nice, right? But over in the Middle East, and it's just rules, right? Yeah. So I was like, wow.
Did you learn some different languages at all?
I learned a lot of cuss words from every language. I didn't know France hate us.
Really?
Oh my God, the French was the worst. Being in France was the worst.
That's what I've kind of heard. I've never obviously been there, but I've heard they're a little.
Man, I don't know what war or whatever it was back in the day, but they do not like Americans.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's probably the worst spot.
Yeah,
France was the worst spot for me.
But I suppose it's like a business, like you said. I listen to a lot of the Spit and Chicklets podcast, and they talk hockey, the NHL, and there's a lot of stories on there about people going to play in the KHL in Russia.
Right.
And it is just like that. It's like we're paying you money. If you don't perform, you are out on the next flight.
Yes.
But that's kind of crazy. So let's go a little bit into Earnest Academy now. Okay. When you obviously moved to Minot, which I didn't know, it was just Canada. Let's go south. What was that clicking moment that you're like, hey, let's start some sort of training here?
Well, when I had my first travel team, I went to when I first got to Minot, I went to the parks.
Okay.
I come from parks is packed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get a game. I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
And I'm with Hammond Park. I'm like, where's everybody at? Awesome Monday. Don't worry about it. I'll come back Tuesday. Where's everybody at?
Nobody.
Wednesday, third. I'm like, okay, this is how it is out here. And no one plays in the park.
No one hoops.
I'm like, so who, outside of my kids, who train these kids? Mm-hmm. So then that's when I got to the aspect of training kids.
Okay.
Because no one did. Like, outside of me training my travel team, no one did nothing.
So is that how it is where you're from? Is that all the parks, there's a pickup game every day?
Every day. I mean, you learn from the older guys, right? You play against older guys. Mm-hmm. So you might go to the park at 14. You might play against 25 or 45 or 15, 20. You know what I'm saying? It's mixed up. So, and you have the old guys who teach you certain things. Hey, man, you got to be tougher than that. Hey, man, do this, move here. So we learn from the older guys, right? Which no one's telling these kids nothing because no one's out there to teach them, right? So
That's super interesting. I guess I didn't think about the fact that obviously you can learn from those people.
Everything.
20, 25, 30, 45, whatever it might be. So, okay. So you decided to take the leap. Let's start training kids.
Yes.
What was that first operation like? Was it just, hey, let's get a shop and do it? Was it, 5 kids? Did you have 50 kids? What did it look like?
No, I got a floor. I got 2 rims. I got a storage unit. It was 60 feet long, but wasn't wide, very, very wide.
Okay.
And I had the rims where you had to put sand in the bottom of it on each side.
Okay.
And no bathroom.
Yeah.
And I just
porta potty outside.
Yeah. I charged $40.
Yeah.
For 5 weeks.
$40 for 5 weeks?
Yeah, I was cheap.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, and I was getting, and people was coming, people was coming, and then that built, to the next storage unit, which is a lot better. You got another floor, but on the other side.
What was the process like did it take you a while to, were you mulling over, do I want to start this or not? Or did you think one day, let's just do this, and then next thing you know, you're up and running?
One day, let me get 2 rims in here and let me start training these kids, right? And a few came, they word of mouth, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have no flyers or nothing, word of mouth.
Yep.
Next, a few more came.
Yeah.
And then lots more coming. It's like, wow, I kind of overrun this storage unit.
Yeah.
Then I got another storage unit and more came and like, wow, I'm really.
So the word of mouth were people just like,
huge.
was it just like, hey, there's this 7-foot tall guy from Syria and he's training basketball?
Yeah. And then you hear about my travel teams, right? So, my travel kids, they start playing and still playing early. Mm-hmm. And they was like, where you go? Well, we go to Earnest Bell.
Yeah.
Who's the Earnest Bell guy? Well, he got storage units over here.
Yeah.
So they walk in and be like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, I like what he does. Now I'm aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, everything I'm teaching or I've been taught is come from where I come from, right?
Yeah.
But I want the greatness, right? I got to push you.
Yeah.
Every kid I have or used to have, they don't like the silent coaches, the quiet coaches. They always say, Ernest, I miss your style. Because I tell what they're doing wrong. Yeah. I push them, and they like that style better. Yeah. But I'm not for everybody. I understand that, but I want greatness. I'm going to push you to be great. So if you want to be great, come to the academy.
Yeah. And that's the thing I think, especially, 2024 now, when I was growing up playing hockey, a lot of coaches were like that, where they were hard on you and they were aggressive, but everyone was used to that. Whereas now you're getting a mix of both where, some works for some people and it doesn't work for other people. True. So it's interesting how the coaching has changed, but I've always liked the idea of, be hard on me because that's what's going to make me better.
True.
Instead of just standing in the corner being quiet. You know what I mean?
But like you said, it don't work for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So, and being with the academy and being around kids, the ones you can push, the ones you got to, talk to differently, but still. So you pick up every habit. You learn to coach every kid. Yeah. By having so many kids, right? So
I suppose. So then the travel team and the actual warehouse, the storage unit, what came first? Was it the training first? Unit. Okay.
The storage unit came first. No, travel team came first with my boys. Mm-hmm. Then I started doing the storage unit, training, and then doing both.
Yeah. Both. So AAU, I'm not super familiar on what that is. Yeah. What is the whole AAU world?
AAU is basically for kids who want to go to college and you want to get seen. We grew up, I don't know, you're young. So when we grew up, colleges, scouts would come to your high school games. Mm-hmm. They don't do it no more.
Oh, really?
So now they say, well, we have these AAU programs or these tournaments in Nebraska or in Iowa or in Texas or whatever. And everybody I want to watch is going to be at that tournament. We're just going to go there. Okay. So it saves colleges a lot more money than flying to this high school in Nebraska, flying to this high school in New York. Yeah. They just say, okay, they all going to be this tournament. We'll just go there and we'll post up and we'll watch.
Yeah. I suppose it's way easier for the scouts.
Way easier for the scouts.
Yeah.
Way easier for the scouts. So that's what AAU does is bring colleges to see these kids who really want to go to the next level.
So is AAU, is that something that was around here or did you come here?
No, it's been around. I never played it. It really didn't hit hard till I say around when Kobe Bryant. Okay. He started doing AAU or whatever back in the. So I say Kobe Bryant was in high school. I don't know when he was, but that's when he really started picking up. Yeah. And then you got 3 circuits, which means you got Nike circuit, Adidas circuit, and you got Under Armour. Okay. So you have so many people on each circuit.
Yeah. And the circuit, is that like a tournament, like a series type thing?
Yes, a series, 3 games, three places you go and you have chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3.
Okay.
And Nike has 4 and Under Armour has 3. And they different places around the world.
Okay. So then you started doing the travel teams. You're like, let's start putting some of these teams together do you put together the AAU teams or the travel teams separate?
Both.
Okay.
So it's totally different. So travel goes throughout the whole year. AAU's the summer.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I took my daughter's team, Sparks, my first girls team, and we just dominate everybody.
Yeah.
We kill everybody. And so then I was like, you know what? Knowing me, I'm a thinker like, okay, North Dakota is great, but Lady, you need to see what else is out there in the real world.
Yep.
Like it's a lot. So I took them down to Minnesota and we did AU down there. Did pretty good. And then that's when Lady was spotted by Paul Hill, which is PJ Hill's son, which also is Taylor Hill's dad as well. She's a WNBA player. Yep. Played WNBA for a few years. So Paul talked to my daughter, like, who are you? She kind of freaked out, like, why is this guy talking to me? She comes get me. I meet Paul. Paul's she's on my team. Yeah. I'm like, yo, I haven't met PJ, the brother, at all. So I go outside. He's like, yo, PJ, this is Ernest. Ernest is my son. She's on your team. And PJ's like, okay, right? So, and P said, Ernest, my dad has never told me about any player but your daughter.
That's awesome.
So I said, hey, I got one more. Yeah. And it was Maggie Freaky.
Well, it's cool going from North Dakota that you don't really realize once you start to branch out, those opportunities start to present themselves.
Yes.
Have you seen that a lot with, a lot of the players that you have on these teams?
Yes. And everybody switches up. Some goes through, everybody's shopping around trying to get their kids seen, right? Yeah. I play the game. I know the whole scout thing. I know the levels of it. Some parents who don't play the game, who've never been at the highest level, don't know the game.
They don't get the process.
No, they want to skip the process. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they want to go to a Nike program or an Under Armour program and they want to jump. Everybody does it. Yeah. Everybody does it. Except me. I don't do it. I stick with PJ since 4th grade. He's the first one who got me. Yeah. So I'm loyal. So, and my daughter's 6'2". Yeah.
I was standing next to her a couple weeks ago and I was like, are you my height?
Yeah. So it's a difference, right? So when you get other kids who's not, you kind of got to get them out there and get them seen. Yeah. Because 5'9" on down, it's a lot of those kids out there. It's a tree of those kids out there, right? But Lee's in a different level because her 6'2", 6'3" puts her in a different bracket than everybody else at that 5'9" lower.
So I know there's this philosophy out there between parents and coaches and athletes is, if you're good enough, you'll get seen. At what point does that stop where you need to go out and try some of these different avenues?
That stops right now. Yeah. Liddy has 12 Power 5 offers. I don't know if you looked at it, but she has Louisville, Memphis, Mississippi State, like Nebraska. She has 12 of them, right? Yeah. I asked them all. And they said, Ernest, we will never send your daughter at North Dakota if she didn't play AAU.
Or okay.
We don't recruit North Dakota. Yeah. They said it's a hockey town. Yeah. So in every college's eyes, Power 5s, North Dakota's not a basketball town. It's a hockey town. They all said it. We don't recruit North Dakota. Yeah. So I'm like, you get her out there was huge for her. Yeah. And I knew that.
It just goes to show getting out there that you're good and it's going to get you so far, but eventually you need to make strategical moves to get in the right place.
You got to, man. Yeah. And that's why, I got a Stars West program and things like that. But I knew it. I just knew it. Like, I just knew it. They wouldn't recruit North Dakota. I just knew it. And I asked them specifically, would you have done? They was like, no way. Yeah. Like, not we had never heard of Lee, right? We never heard of her. Yeah. But now they know her, right? So
yeah, it's interesting. North Dakota, it's kind of that's why they call it a flyover state, right? Exactly. So going into your transition a little bit, what did you learn in those early days of starting the business, getting the athletes in there, training them? What are some of the things you learned that you didn't expect when you decided to start the business?
The clientele. Okay. My mentor is Tom Wibbershire from Fargo Academy. Okay. He retired and he sold it or whatever, but it still says Fargo Academy. He sold it. And I went to meet him and talk to him and just sit there and watch, talk. And he said, get your clientele up. I said, the money gonna come.
Okay.
Get your clientele up. And it was fast.
As in a different demographic or just more people?
More people.
Okay.
Get as many people you can in there. So the money's going to come. Just, you're one of the best trainers. He's like, just get your clientele up.
Yeah.
Say, I know what you can do. I know your passion. And that was the number one thing he told me to do. And that's why I was focused on.
What was your strategy for doing that then? After you heard that, you're like, okay, how am I going to do this?
Charge $40 on the first class.
You're like, we're dropping the price. It's $20 now.
Yeah, I'm like, so I looked at his outline, and he was like, because we in Fargo though, right? So he has so many people there, they can pay whatever, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, not. Let me just start at 40. And I made it cheaper for everybody.
Yeah.
So when they get in the door, it's like, okay, this dude's legit, right?
Yeah.
So then so each year I went up.
Yeah.
50, 60, whatever, right?
Did you have any pushback? Because a lot of times if something's priced cheaper, they think it's lesser quality. Did you have any people thinking that? Or did they, once they got in there, they're like, oh, this is legit?
Yeah, the pushback basically was me. I'm not born here.
Who's this import?
Here. Yeah, who's this guy coming in here doing all this, right? So any gym I want to get, no.
Yeah.
Anywhere, no. Everything was no.
Okay. Like finding spaces.
Yeah. So I would tell Hammond Park.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, I go to the park.
Yeah. Those are free.
Those are free. I went to the park board and I said, hey, I'm going to do a camp out here. I'm going to do this out here. I'm going to run a 5-on-5 tournament out here.
Yeah.
I'm the first one done all that.
Yeah.
And the park board said, as long as you get there first,
you're good.
You're good. I had music out there. I'm the first one who had a 5-on-5 basketball tournament outdoors.
That's awesome.
I'm that guy back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, because I'm a community guy. Like, what are these kids doing? Like, they can't be doing nothing.
Yeah.
Let's do something, right? Where I come from, inner cities, there's always something to do.
Yeah.
And
that's the one thing people always complain about in Minot is, oh, there's nothing to do here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to go into a little bit about your coaching style, but first we're going to hear from this week's sponsor, Midco. Is your business moving up and to the right? Put Midco's business technology to work for you so you never have a slow day at the office. From premium internet and phone plans to custom private networking and advertising, they have a solution for every type of business, large or small. Get paired with an account representative to create your suite of services and make the switch with ease with dedicated business client fulfillment and support teams. No data caps, flexible contracts with month-to-month or long-term options, built-in DDoS protection, and more. Explore services and request a free consultation at midco.com/business today. Thank you, Midco, for sponsoring this week's episode. I've been a Midco user ever since I started my business here about 4.5 years ago, and have loved every second of it. So check that out, midco.com/business. Okay, Ernest, so let's dive back into the questions here. I know, one thing you really preach is work ethic.
Yes.
How do you unlock that in these kids that, they can accomplish more than they think they can?
They all have it. They all have it in them. You just have to pull it out of them. And you just got to challenge them. Some of these coaches don't tell these kids they can be great.
Yeah.
That's all the kid want to hear. I can be great if I do this, this, and this. And that's the problem. Everybody has a will to win. I just got to pull it out. I tell them all the time, I got to go inside your throat with my hand and pull it out. The monster is in there, right?
Yeah.
And I challenge them. And we do a lot of stopping. We train. We do a lot of stopping.
Okay.
A lot of this. Teaching. Stop. Why you did this? You should have went this way. Right? You're not tough enough. Why you not here? This and this and this. So when we stop it, we can teach. And you see a big difference.
Yeah.
And our kids always have the will to win. The academy kids, all the kids play early.
Yeah.
In high school.
Are you getting that into them? Or are they coming with you with that?
Some, but in North Dakota way, they're just built different.
Yeah.
They're not taught that way, right? So some of them are. Some of them are. You know how it is hockey, right?
Yep.
Some just come in like, oh my God.
Like this guy's different. Yeah.
Yeah. So they all do have it.
Yeah.
You got the good trainers can get it out of them. And the parents can see it too, right? So, yeah, and we understand the process. It might take this one a little bit longer. Yeah. But you can see it over, 5 weeks. Then 2 months, 3 weeks. Oh, wow. She definitely lose balls. She's in there fighting. And then parents are like, wow, so that's the difference between me and the academy and anybody else who try to do what I do around here. And I think that's the work ethic aspect where, there's the famous quote, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Every time. Right? And someone can be super talented and, make 40% at the 3 line. But the people you really notice are the ones that you said they're diving for loose balls. They're fighting for every rebound. Yes. So
pulling that out of people is super awesome. One thing I always said is that once a coach stops talking to you and stops coaching you, that's when
you're in trouble.
Yeah, that's when you're screwed.
Yeah,
because then it's almost like you're a lost cause.
Yeah. I tell them all the time, you're in doghouse, and then once you get in doghouse with these coaches, it is so hard to get out of there.
Yeah,
and also a good point in the academy, we train the kids on everything the coaches don't like. Mm-hmm. Don't be talking when the coach is talking. Don't be eye rolling or looking around. Eye to eye the whole time. Ball under your hand. Look at the coach every time. Don't say nothing. If you want to talk, wait till the water break, then go talk.
Yeah.
And we have a hard time with some kids, but we get out there of them. We don't want you cut. We don't want you on B. We don't do C and B squads.
Yeah.
No, we don't train for that. We A over here.
And that's a thing that I think, people see. You can train for the skills. You can train, fix a shot. You can fix the dribbling. But those things about being coachable,
yes,
that's one of the biggest things when you're on a team.
Huge.
Yeah.
Coaches don't like that. They will cut you. And me and Benny, we all say, and if, I had this model for a while, 50-50.
Yeah.
And you might have some bad coaches. Mm-hmm. I get all that, whatever. I had a few bad ones myself.
Yeah.
I didn't have yellers, quiet, whatever. But the other 50 is on you. Mm-hmm. Do your job.
Not 100% of all coaches are bad. No. Eventually, you got to look in the mirror.
Yeah, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
And we call it the 50 on your side. Mm-hmm. Do your job. Yeah. If you do your job, we don't want to hear going home talking, the coaches don't like me.
Yeah.
So when the parents call the coach, now you're really in trouble because parents call the coach. You don't want that. Mm-hmm. So if the coach is going to say, well, your kid was talking, your kid was doing this, your kid was doing that. You're going to be on the phone like, oh, my kid didn't tell me that.
Yeah. And it's like, then you hang up.
Then you hang up. Now your kid's in a super doghouse because your parents made that call.
He's in the coach's doghouse and the parents' doghouse.
So I tell kids, listen, do your part.
Yeah.
They will fight for you. Mm-hmm. The parents will fight for you. If the parents know your kid works hard, listens, blah, 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 and you're not playing, the parents going to call and they'll fight for you.
Yeah.
But don't be out here doing everything wrong.
Yeah.
And expect us parents to go for it.
Yeah.
No, then we look dumb.
Yeah. It's like, you were 0 for 8. You didn't hustle. You got beat on every play to the bucket. It's like, it's hard to fight for you then.
It's hard to fight for you then, right?
Yeah.
So these parents, man, they want their kids to be great, mm-hmm. but the kids don't put the effort in to be great.
Yeah.
You're supposed to give it to them.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the thing where it's like, there's some parent illusion, right? Because every parent thinks their kid's better than they actually are. Like that's just across the board, across the country,
true,
everything, right? It's because you love your kid. But it's interesting when you get the some of the you're a parent and you're a coach, so you see both sides of it. Right. That's always what I like to see is like my sisters play basketball obviously, and I think I'm a third party brother,
right?
But it's sometimes like you didn't play great, right? And you have to have that humility to realize
you have to.
Yeah.
I'm super hard on Lily. Always have been.
Yeah.
But 12 Power 5 hours later, look what.
Worth it.
Yeah, look what he's so hard on his daughter. I can't believe he did that. Well, 12 Power 5 offers later.
She's thanking me now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you can believe what you want to believe.
Yeah.
You can say what you want to say. Mm-hmm. But I got 8th graders playing varsity.
Yeah.
We got one boy just played varsity yesterday, 8th grader.
That's crazy.
They're taught.
Yeah.
We started this young movement in North Dakota. We did that.
Yeah.
We started this. I started some young movement.
Mm-hmm. Not have to be juniors to finally play at the highest level,
And I wasn't trying to. I'm just trying to make the kids good.
Yeah.
And coaches are taking these kids and playing them up. Parents getting mad.
Coach is probably pumped about you. They're like, Ernest, keep developing these kids, man. Just feeding them to us.
It's good and bad, right? So you get other people who try to do what I do, and I just laugh because then you have travel teams. Mm-hmm. Well, you got to play my travel teams.
Yeah.
And we're just wired different. Mm-hmm. My travel teams are will to winners.
Yeah.
Like we will eat you up. Like we hungry. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you don't train like that.
Yeah. It's a point of anger if you lose. Yeah.
Oh man. If you don't train like that, it's hard to beat my EA kids. It's really hard.
But I personally think that's the right way to do it. When I was playing hockey, my dad was my coach. And after every time, every game, and it's funny, when I was a freshman, sophomore, I couldn't drive yet. And we'd be leaving the rink. And if I knew I had a bad game, it was always you sit there about 2 minutes, and then it was a volume turned down. He'd twist the volume down on the radio. And that's when I'm like, Oh gosh. Well, and it's usually just the question. He's like, how'd you think you played? And then it goes from there. But it's always the funniest thing.
I can see he turned it off.
Yep. And it's that I would look over at time. It's just a nice little, let's turn the music off here. It is the funniest thing ever.
But we love you though. We love our kids, right?
Exactly. Right. And it's the mental toughness.
Oh man.
There's, it takes mental toughness in basketball in general and in business. Have you seen any correlation where it's been, with, you're struggling in the business side or there's a hard decision that comes up?
Well, the hard decision for me was, transferring over from Earnest Academy my way, and then actually transition to the actual business aspect now. With a partner with Chris the Shots, everything's ran, this way, and it was great. It's great.
Yeah.
But for me, you had to get used to it because for 8 years it was my way, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm into the business side of things now, where everything has to be, online the right way type of thing. Not saying I wasn't doing the right way, but make sure
just different way,
right? So that is was hard for me to get used to, but it's going good now. We 1 year in, we got nominated the best program in the city.
That's awesome.
So I was doing something right.
What would be your advice for partnership? If someone was going to a partnership like that, what are some things you learned partnering with Krista? Krista was on the show. She's awesome. So I can't imagine the partnership is hard at all or difficult.
No, like if you partner somebody, make sure your partners know. Me and Krista know where our lanes are, right?
Okay.
She's the admin. She does all this. She makes everything, pay, everything's getting online, whatever. I'm the guy who runs the kids, trains, whatever. Yeah. And then we converse with each other on certain things. I don't go into her office and beg her about this, and that, and she don't come in the academy
and tell me how to coach. Yeah,
coach. Yeah. So if you go partner with somebody, make sure you two have, where your lanes are.
I like
or
that.
It's going to get mixed up and go in. Now, do we have a few bumps? Yeah, we're partners, right? We try to figure each other out, right? So. But right now, it's we special. We're a good tag team.
Yeah, I like that you're not going in each other's lanes, because I'm sure there could be some scuffles that come about if you're like, oh well, I'll just do the, I'll do the social media side, and she's like, well, I'm doing that. Not saying that's something you guys have set aside on your lanes, but it would be an issue if you start stepping on each other's toes.
Exactly right.
So you moved into the new space now.
Yes.
Which is awesome. I've seen some photos of it. I haven't been there, but it looks awesome. What was that like when you're like, all right, let's move into this brand new space?
Crazy. Her dad came to the storage unit, walking around, looking at stuff. I'm like, what's this guy doing over here? I'm training. I'm like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
They said, I know. I'm going to build you a building. My daughter's going to be your partner. I'm like,
really?
Okay.
Had you ever met this guy before?
No.
Really?
Never met Dad before.
That's awesome.
And met Mom and Nick, and it's like saying, we got the frames up over here, and it's like, holy crap, this is really moving here.
Yeah.
And it's up and running.
Yeah.
So the dad saw the vision, my vision as well, which in turns, Krista sees the vision too as well. And it's new for Krista, right? She runs a restaurant, fast lane, and other stuff too as well.
Yeah.
Then we deal with a whole.
She's like, I guess I'm going into the basketball industry. Yeah,
and it's a whole different side over here. It's a lot of human nature involved over here with this training basketball stuff and parents, and
I suppose
it's a lot of human nature stuff over there you have to get used to, and so it's a whole different world for her to what she's been doing to this right here. So, and again, she lets me handle that stuff because I've been doing it, so I know how to talk to parents and how to do things like that. So,
because I suppose it's different. Her running, the restaurants and fast lane, that's all, one-to-one customer interaction. They're gone.
Right.
Whereas this is, you guys are building relationships with the kids. You're building relationships with the parents.
Yes.
It does take a different angle to look at it.
It does. And some parents get upset and some parents get this. You got to be able to talk to them and make sure, let them know you're doing the right thing. So, then you get your haters. They're always there, right? Don't go over there. He's just too mean to the kids. Or whatever. Okay, well,
well, the kids can dunk, so you're like, how about that?
You know what I'm saying? So again, like it's I practice peace. I was always told by a good lady, Lacey Stevick, always told me, Ernest, just let that stuff go.
Yeah.
If they want to go somewhere else and play somewhere else, and just let it go.
Yeah.
Because it's hard for me. I train you all the way up.
Yeah.
And then you want to go somewhere else and go to this place over here and this place over here and train over these people. And it's like, and in my mind, I was like, you little, what, right? But Lacey said, Ernest, just let it go.
Yeah.
Like, you're not for everybody.
Yeah.
And it was rough for me because I want everybody to be great, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Well, and it almost feels like another one of your kids. You know?
Right? Like, I think I had to let it go. So
it's good. It probably keeps a little bit less stress in your life, which is good. It does,
because it was really to the point to where it's like, you try to come back, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It's like, no way, you can't do that.
Yeah. You know? So you guys recently rented out the gym for the first time.
Yes.
That was exciting.
Oh, man.
Maybe. How was it?
It was great. I mean, Dar Rutledge was a big advocate for that. So we pretty much got all South Prairie locked down pretty much.
Okay.
You know, so the kids out there are doing good. All of our kids are EA kids, the younger ones as well. And Dar said, hey, we're going to bring 6th graders out here division.
Yeah.
Do the academy. And it was packed. And it was fun. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Parents who never saw the academy saw it. I got to talk to some kids, promote, tell them come on over.
Yeah.
So it worked out both ways.
What was that like? Had the renting the gym space out ever been in the cards before? Or did she just come and you're like, it's actually a good idea?
No, we always want to do it, you know. But again, we're a year in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know really what we can reach and what we can do, right?
Yeah.
You know, so that's part of the deal. Like, anybody wants gym time, let us know.
Yeah.
We got 2 gyms.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we built another gym right beside Shots truck stop.
Okay.
You know, so we got 2 gyms. So anybody needs, practice time or whatever, let us know.
Yeah.
You know, because we'll help you out.
More space. Yeah. The more space, the better.
Yeah. Because it gets really, clogged up here when travel teams is going and school ball's going.
Because I suppose what is there? It's all school gyms and then there's the Y.
That's it.
That's kind of it.
And you can't rent the Y, really.
Yeah.
You know, it's a so-called family, whatever, right? So it gets pretty packed in here where you can't get no gym space.
Yeah.
Then you going out of town and stuff like that. So
going to the park. Right.
In the wintertime, showing snow off, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, we heard y'all. If anybody needs gym space, gym time, call Krista and we line something up for you.
You're like, call Krista, don't call me. That's her lane.
Yeah, it's her lane
the
right
partnership.
There,
so services, are there any other services that you guys have considered expanding to, or is this kind of where you're at?
No, that's kind of where we at. Just renting out gym time, bringing in anybody who wants to needs help as far as gym space. We got a lot going on as well. You know, we got academy classes go all year. We got travel teams, and then we got AU coming up here in the summer. So right now we almost finished with travel teams. So right now we got AU tryouts coming up for girls. Yeah. You know, so boys have their tryouts already. So now we get into more of the summer stuff now.
Yeah.
We have our camps coming up too as well. We do a 2-week camp.
Okay.
You know, instead of doing 1 week, 3 days.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just two weeks. And I did that on my own.
Okay.
All this is before the academy got built. I just brought what I've been doing at the old place to here. Okay. So I've been doing this for years.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So, if I had to ask you, if I interviewed you 15 years from now, and you're looking at Earnest Academy as a conglomerate, what does that look like? Do you want to stay in Minot? Do you want
another big gym on the side of this gym? Okay. To where you can walk from the lobby to the big gym. Okay. Big gym where we're gonna have actual tournaments where the AU tournaments. Yeah. Anybody can use it, right? That is the ultimate goal. Yeah. But that's going to take more money for that too as well. So,
yeah, but it's moving up from $40. It's $50.
Yeah, right. So that's the ultimate goal, to have 2 gyms, one big gym to have actual AU tournaments. I mean,
with like bleachers and stands and everything? That's what you're thinking?
Yes, the whole 9. That's the goal right there. So,
would you ever want to expand to different cities where you got one in every major city in North Dakota, over to Minnesota, and then you're running this giant business, or is it?
God, I don't know, because Lily's still, my daughter, she's, God good. She stay healthy and she gets to go to college. We still got to focus on that, right? So she's right now too. Like the Cabby's right now, Lily's right now. Yeah. So
how is it balancing those? Because obviously, you go into all Lily's games, which is awesome. But is it hard ever?
No. Well, thank God we got Benny, my boy, who came on with us. So when I'm not there, he trains. Okay. And his son plays basketball, so when he has to go, I'm there. Yeah. But the years past, I had to shut the academy down. Yeah. So.
Well, it's good finding those, not creative outlets, but people that can help out in that situation.
It's hard. Yeah. Everybody cannot do this. Everybody does not want to do this. Yeah. Like I thought everybody did, but they don't. Yeah.
Is it time to time get tough or what?
I think the kids, the training, the just every day, the same thing every day with the kids. Some people can't do that. Yeah. They might do it for 1-2 days. Yeah. But for a lifetime, I didn't realize how hard it really was. For me, it's not hard. I love it. Yeah. But
I suppose it gets to be a lot for some people.
Man, for some people it does. I'm like, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, you shot 25,000 shots this week.
Yeah.
But that's what makes you great, right?
Right. Yep.
So 2 more questions here, and then I'll let you run. But what would be your advice or a daily habit that you would recommend to these young basketball athletes?
Do something every day. Every single day. Do something. Triple. You can't go to academy once a week and expect to be great.
Yeah.
No, you're going to pay whatever. I'm cool with that, right?
Yeah.
But do something every day. Mm-hmm. We played every day. We dribbled every day. Do something every day, and you will see a big difference. That's
the nice part about basketball is even if you just have a ball, you can do something. You don't need a hoop. Don't shoot that day, right? Just go dribble.
Right.
And, there's a lot of parks out there. I think it's snowing in North Dakota right now, but, it's one of the easier sports to do something every day.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then last question I got for you, we gave some advice for the athletes. Let's give some advice for the business people now. Okay. What is your Mount Rushmore of business advice? Your 4 pieces that you'd tell if someone is going into business?
If you really have to want to do this on your own, like don't do it to make the money.
Yeah.
If you want to go in business on your own, you have to understand you don't want to work a 9 to 5 ever again. Because it's going to be a lot of pitfalls running your own business, right? Mm-hmm. So a lot of great things come with it, though.
Yeah.
The good outweighs the bad. But you really got to understand this is what it is. No more 9 to 5s because you can't do both.
No.
You can't do both. So if you really want to start your own business or whatever, understand you do not want to do a 9 to 5 ever again. You want to focus on your business and then go all in on it.
I always like to tell people shit or get off the pot, right?
Right, yeah.
You can't run the business on the side. You can maybe to start, but once you want to go all in, you got to go all in because you can't really grow it just 2 hours a day.
You can't.
So, cool. All right, Earnest, thank you very much for coming on the show. Where can people find you?
I am so bad with my address, but I can tell you what, we're right behind Pure Honda.
There you go. Pure Honda. And then obviously Facebook, you guys got a website.
Yes.
Reach out to Earnest if you want to get your kid in there, or if you just want to say, you did awesome on the podcast. Good work. Whatever you want to say to Earnest. So Earnest, thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
That was episode 71 of the Minot Business Podcast presented by Bennett Creative Media. Thank you guys very much for listening and watching, and we will see you guys next week for episode 72.